Hi, I'm Pete and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. This video is an update on our lives during what we in New York call the Great Pause. The governor of New York has shut down all non-essential businesses until at least mid-May. Now, farms are an essential business, so we're doing business as usual. In fact, we're doing more business than usual. The kids have been home from school for 6 weeks now. I love having them home. They're helping out with chores. They're doing lots of schoolwork via distance learning. I think that the thing that's bothered us the most these days is the crappy rainy weather, more so than any implications of the virus. That's affected our life here on the farm. Here are a list of the strange things that have happened since my last update, in no particular order. First of all, an update on this YouTube channel because it's been affected a lot, I think, by the virus. People are home watching TV a lot more. We've seen a lot more traffic on the channel. For all of you who aren't familiar how YouTube works, once you hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, which we did about 5 weeks ago, you're eligible for monetization on YouTube, which means that you can make advertising money or a cut of the advertising money from the ads you see before these videos. Some tips for you who would like to support the channel. If you see an ad at the beginning of the video and it's one of the extended ads, if you watch at least 30 seconds of that ad, I get a cut of the ad money for it. If you click right away from it as soon as it says skip ads, I don't get any money for it. The ads which are non-skippable at the beginning of the videos, I get money for unless you click away from the channel before the ad happens. If you want to support me, watch at least 30 seconds of the ads, please. Just in full disclosure, I make about $3 a day right now for the YouTube videos that we're doing. So it's less than $100 a month. I think I have finally found a way to make less money per hour than farming, and that's YouTube. The entire food system is still running in overdrive, and our butcher sees it. He's booked at least through the end of the year now, and the hatcheries are seeing it. There's been an incredible run on the hatcheries since this all started, and people are trying to procure their own food supply. At the same time, the Postal Service has become unreliable. Our first batch of chicks was a day late, and we suffered losses because of extra time in the postal system. And then, one morning, we got up at 5:15. It was still dark out, and I saw headlights in the driveway. Well, we got dressed, went out, and the Moyer hatchery van was sitting in the driveway with a delivery of our next chicks, which had been hatched the day before. Our representative drove through the night all the way up here and delivered a whole bunch of healthy chicks, the healthiest we've ever gotten probably. The reason he did that is he had a big customer up north of us who had ordered 800 chicks a week before, and they all got lost in the Postal Service and arrived at his place dead. So we're worried about our future batches, and we'll see what happens with the post office. Our sales continue to be off the charts. In April so far, we have done more business than we would normally do in August or September, which are traditionally our busiest months. The real problem is we don't have a lot of stock. We've got plenty of pork and eggs, but we're out of chicken for about another 4 weeks. We're out of beef until early July. You just can't finish a steer early. It's got to go through its paces on grass to finish out properly. So the consequence of that is we're selling a lot more pork. And some of the people that used to just buy chicken from us or beef are buying pork now. They're getting accustomed to our pork and realizing how good it is. Still, the majority of our business is picking up from the farm, which changed in the beginning of this whole thing, always before we'd done most of our sales at farmers market. One of the reasons that people are buying a lot from the farm is because it's a safer environment. We've set up a whole system to limit interaction with customers. What happens is a customer will call and pre-order, or they'll email and pre-order. I put their order together in the garage, bag it up, email them a total, and then they come here, and depending on their comfort level, they can either come in here into our garage turned farm store, pick up their bags off of one of the freezers and leave a check, or if they're not comfortable with doing that, we have a bench set up here on our driveway. We put their bag goods on the bench, they drive in the driveway, they leave their check under the rock, and away they go without any interaction. Much safer than going to a grocery store and even to the farmer's market. This leads me to some of the online ordering goofiness that I've seen lately, which looks like a giant pain in the you-know-what for small farmers like us. There's been a regional sort of food hub set up, And people can go online at each farm they want to order from, place their order, pay with a credit card online. The farm delivers all of the orders to this centralized location, and then the customers come and pick up their order in a fixed time frame. Oh my gosh. We were asked if we wanted to participate, and there's no way I want to do this. First of all, it gets my hackles up, and one of the things that I am really passionate about, we wind up giving the bank an extra percentage point for any sale we take over the phone or online. Now, I'm already paying the bank 3% for any credit card sale that I'm making. It's not like I'm increasing my prices. I'm eating that because it's viewed as just part of doing business these days. But I draw the line at paying an extra percentage point for people's convenience. I think that banks getting involved with farming is one of the roots of the problems with farming today. All of these farms that are taking out loans to buy seeds and then paying back the loan at harvest. Well, what if your harvest goes bad? All of the expensive brand new machinery that farms buy, and they go into hock to do that, they wind up committing a certain portion of their income to paying interest to the bank. I think that that is ruining the farm system. And this is how it's creeping into this whole virus debacle. When customers ask me about prepaying online or giving me their card number over the phone, I tell them that. Not the whole banking rant, but I tell them that we're paying an extra percent and it cuts into our profit margin, and we would rather that they bring a check, which I'm perfectly fine with, or that they bring a card. I put on gloves, I swipe their card, I make their X for their signature, and then give it back to them with some disinfectant. Either way, it saves me some money, and it helps them help us through all this mess. The other thing I see happening, and again, this is not with us, is I see people pre-ordering for farmers market and farmers having to wait around for the people that have ordered to show up. You know, somebody may order $5 worth of produce or something, and then you got to wait an extra hour for them to show up at market. It's just not worth it. I see farmers that are driving all over the place to deliver orders, and the order may be not even worth the gas money, but we're doing it as a convenience, and again, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. In this case, with all these percentage points being paid and all this gas being burned, I'm thankful that we sort of have our own bank, and that's our CSA system. When we need extra money to start stock in the spring, we open up our CSA to new members, and we get that money up front. They prepay for the stock. So it's kind of like a seed loan, but we don't have to pay any interest. It's based on the faith of the customers in us, which I think is how farming should work. And regarding our CSA, that's one of the other implications of the virus. Normally, we see a whole rush of people sign up at the very end of our CSA. The CSA starts on June 1st. At the end of May is when people want to sign up. Well, we started getting CSA sign-ups in late February this year, and actually now we're full up. We've taken all the CSA business we want. And the reason for that is because while we want the money as seed money to start up in the spring with, we're discounting CSAs, so we don't want to do too much CSA business because it cuts into our bottom line in the end. So we're full up and turning away people at this point. We're continuing to go to the Ithaca Farmers Market every Saturday, and it continues to be run very well with a whole set of rules to make the environment safer. One of the consequences that the market's had to endure is it's operating at about half capacity because it spaced the vendors every other booth. The other consequence is that about 40% of the market vendor population is made up of artisans who make various things and food vendors who sell prepared foods. Well, the governor's pretty much shut them down, shut the artisans down completely from selling at market, and the food vendors have a whole set of requirements in order to sell their products at market about not serving hot products that they can eat on the premises and pre-wrapping their products. So it's really hurting those vendors, just like a lot of people are hurting in this state. I have a lot of concerns about the farmers markets going forward. Normally in the beginning of May, we would start our two other markets. So we would continue our Saturday market, which is always our biggest market. Sunday markets would start up in the same location at the Pavilion downtown in Ithaca. And then we have a Wednesday evening market near Cornell. Both the Sunday and Wednesday markets are on hold for now until we hear more from the governor. And that's going to impact our sales. The other thing that's going to impact our sales greatly going into the summer is tourist traffic. We're not going to get tourist traffic this summer. Normally the downtown markets in Ithaca are filled with tourists during the summer that come here for wine country, that come here for the beautiful scenery. The neighboring county has actually said tourists stay away for this summer, and I think that's going to happen for our county too. And it's going to greatly impact our sales of things like premium steaks, which principally go to tourists in the middle of the summer for cooking out at their camps. Normally I would be busy with big spring projects this time of year, trying to get in ahead of our super busy taking care of animal season with any infrastructure upgrades we need. And that's beginning. I've got some of the materials for a bull yard that we're going to put outside the barn. A contractor's coming to drive the post this week or the next week. We have to get our septic leaching field replaced. He's going to do it at the same time. One of the consequences of the virus is that construction is mostly halted in New York, so fortunately for an emergency project like replacing a septic leaching field, I can get a contractor in here and he's got a gap in his schedule because of other projects that have been canceled. But I'm also worried about going out and getting materials. The stores are spotty in terms of hours and in terms of whether you can go inside or not. I need lots of materials for these spring projects. I need supplies to change the oil and maintain the tractors, which I usually do in the spring. I need lots of miscellaneous materials to build the fence for the bulls and to build their pen inside the barn here. So it's going to put me behind schedule and in the end make for a busier summer. Through all this, I guess the thing I'm most thankful for is not the increase in sales or anything material, but the fact that my wife and I have more comfort than many people do living here on the farm. We're a lot more insulated from those folks that are going to an office job and living paycheck to paycheck. We're used to slow periods in our income. We're used to thinking of things annually rather than every week or 2-week paycheck periods. I worry a lot about the other people that are in that situation that's a lot different from ours. The thing I wonder about every day is what the long-term implications are going to be for our business and the local food movement in general. And I have to tell you, after thinking about it a whole lot, I'm pretty pessimistic about what long-term change we're going to see. Yes, the people that are committed to local food are going to be even more committed after going through all this, but the people who've bought from us that normally would shop at a supermarket, they're just going to go back to the supermarket where food is dirt cheap and they can get it whenever they want it. I'm sorry to leave you on a down note like that, but that's just the way I see it. I hope you have a good day. I hope you're well, and I'll see you next time.